Well, hey, B, it's JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, we got to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, listen, if my camera go out, the rest of this video will end up being in voiceover. So I just want to let y'all know. Go ahead and give you guys that heads up. All right, now as I'm applying my usual, okay, the Burt's Bees to the lips, please make sure that you guys are coming in and you are liking the video, okay? Now, I need y'all to also let me know how you're feeling about the show so far. If you feel as though you're missing Candiace, leave it in the comments. Let me know if you're missing Robyn. I do feel like the dynamic is much different without having both of the ladies there. Definitely missing Candiace a bit. But I am looking forward to getting to know some of the new ladies and what it is that they have to offer the new season. I'm not gonna hold you, okay? At this point, for me, I feel like everybody gets a clean slate. All right. I am not opposed to nobody on this show, regardless of, well, let me not say that because girl, I'm going to be tapping on Miss Karen just a little piece, okay? I am going to be tapping on her, all right? And based on how she's shown up in the past, but I don't, it's not a particular person on the show that I'm like, ooh, I can't stand her. And y'all know how Ashley can get on my nerves, but I'm giving everybody grace at the top of the season, okay? Now, I know somebody over there on Twitter thought that I was not reviewing the show. Well, girl, you've never heard that come out of my mouth, or not so much as reviewing the show. They thought I said I was never going to watch the show. I was never one of the creators that said that I was not going to tune in. I also wasn't that creator that said the same thing about Basketball Wives. See, I don't be saying stuff like that, okay? Because I don't be wanting to be like, because if I don't feel that way in that moment, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna watch something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I mean, unless I'm really not gonna watch it. But I didn't say that. I didn't feel that way because I knew, like, when it came to basketball, I was like, later on, I might feel like I want to watch it. So I'm not gonna say that I'm just never tuning in, right? Same thing with Potomac. So I was still open to seeing what the ladies are bringing, to the show. So it is what it is. I just want to clear that up, girl. But they're gonna think what they want to think anyway because that's just how it is. And whatever narratives you need it to fit, girl, let it fit. Okay. But we're about to go ahead and get into this latest episode. So let us go ahead and pull this on up so we can talk about some things, honey. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this whole Mia situation, Ink situation, and all of that. All right. So first things first, the show opens up with a reenactment of Miss Karen and this car accident that she had. All right. She ended up getting a citation or charge, whatever, for DUI, amongst other things. Now, Gizelle is headed to pick up Miss Karen, but she ends up giving Ashley a call. And what we learned is, of course, everybody was really concerned about Karen, and primarily everybody wanted to make sure that, number one, Karen was okay and that she was doing well, okay? Now, she picks Karen up. They get ready to go out to eat, and, they have a little chat. Now, before we get into that, y'all, why Miss Ashley Darby said that she knew Karen had a DUI in the past, but she didn't expect Karen to be a repeat offender. It's something about the words repeat offender for me that's going to piss Karen off. When it comes to Ashley, it's something about it that made me feel like Karen gonna cuss you the hell out with this repeat offender, okay? Because when you say it like that, I mean, she ain't lied, she was telling the truth, but it really do sound much worse than well, I can't even say that what it is, because girl, it's still worse, okay? Period. Miss Karen, you was wrong. But anywho, girl. Okay, so back to Karen. So Karen pretty much talks about the incident. And she does, well, she don't really go into detail about the incident, but she does let us know that she was not badly injured, okay? She said that her ribs were injured a bit and her ankle. But aside from that, she's doing well. So Gizelle lets Karen know that she was shook, okay? She's like, girl, I was shook because, I really wanted to make sure that nothing had happened to you, okay? And Karen's like, well, girl, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine, all right? And then Gizelle says that, I don't believe that you do stupid shit. Okay, I'm not one to believe that about you. Now, you may have said some stupid ass stuff in the past, girl, but I'm willing to believe that you just don't be out here doing dumb stuff. But I will say, girl, I was a bit shocked when I saw DUI, DWI, okay, all these citations, probably charges, girl. Like, I'm a bit concerned. Like, can you tell us a little bit more of that? Because that don't really seem like your character, but what's really going on? And Karen said, well, girl, I can't speak on that. And even if I could, I still want to tell you bitches to give y'all more ammo to come at me. Do you have me fucked up? I think not over here. I am the grand dame. What do I look like giving you more to come at me about? Absolutely not. My attorney said that I cannot speak on anything, so I won't. Okay, so that's what Karen is giving. But she said, I will tell you this though, BIT girl. I've been going through it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it's Ray's fault or anything like that, but I've been going through it in my marriage and stuff like that. And I just really feel like I could use a bit of his support at this particular time. You said what? At first I was blaming it on my mama and my daddy. Well, listen, grieving is forever, okay? And I'm gonna keep putting it on them because grieving is forever and it is still bothering me, okay? That I have to wake up every day and live without my parents. So understand that I'm still affected by that. I am. But here, right now, if that's not enough for me to deflect, then I am going to bring in, marriage issues that I am having and put some of this on Ray. Because, I held Ray down when the financial aspect came around, and what I'm asking for him in this moment is to support me, girl. What it sounds like is that Ray on your head top. Because he said, girl, you already had a DUI. You shouldn't be getting another one. And you really don't like the fact that he calling you out accordingly. Okay, sometimes being a supportive spouse is letting you know what the fuck it is and what it ain't. Okay, and keeping it honest with you. Okay, hello? All right, and you can't really take that. So then now you trying to flip it and weaponize this against this man instead of being say that this man, okay, got you stressed the hell out or whatever, and he not being as supportive to you. So now you trying to sit up here and deflect just a little piece and say that I'm gonna put this off on Ray too. So listen to me clearly, Gizelle. I have a lot going on. I do. I'm still dealing with that. I am a empty nester. My son is off living his life. My daughter is off in college and living her life or wherever she is, and I'm home having to bathe Ray and deal with him. Okay, so I have a lot of things going on. Okay, I'm still worried about my family back in Surrey County. I have a lot going on, and all of that contributed to me taking a bit of a drink, taking a stroll down memory lane, and ending in an accident. Thank God I am here. That is what you guys should really be worried about. I am alive. All right. So that's what Karen is giving. Gizelle says, "Listen, girl. Okay. If that's what you want to go with, I'm not even for the debate, you girl. I just lost my daddy." Okay, and I'm using the loss of my daddy for good. I'm actually using my daddy's death to say that I'm trying to mend fences with Wendy. But you want to use your parents' death to sit up here and say that that's the reason you was drinking and driving? Who the hell am I? I'm not gonna fight you, girl. I want to celebrate you. Can we do that? Can we do that, Big K? Let me celebrate you in a mini celebratory lunch. Okay? Karen said, okay, that's cool. Then run the guest list by me, girl, because I love to be celebrated just a little piece. What's going on? Okay? So she gives her the list, lets her know, and Karen said, well, I want to invite Stacy. Okay, let's invite Stacy. I think that'll be a great time and all of that. So she's going to get it together. They're going to do a celebratory lunch or whatnot for Miss Karen. So all is going to be well. Of course, they speak on Mia. Okay, they say, girl, Mia is out here. She has been hanging out. She's been living her best life with the new man named Ink. Actually, what is that his name? What is his name? Karen said his name is DJ Applebox. Because I need to stand on it so that I can reach the height of Miss Mia. Girl, I hollered. I cackled. I thought that was a bit funny. I was like, girl, no, you did it. Apple box? Where did you get that? Is that what it's called? An apple box? But either way, all right, girl, when they clocked Mia for taking pictures standing behind him to make him look like he taller than what he is, Karen said it's okay. He's short. Girl, I can't. And the gag for me is I didn't even pay attention to the way she took pictures behind him. Now I will pay attention to that. Okay, Mia, you ain't got to step back. Just get some lower heels, okay? Get you some kitten heels when you round him, all right? But you know what I have to say? That's becoming more common where women are actually taller than the men. All right. I feel like the first ones I really saw, it was Kevin Hart and his wife, Eniko. So I've been seeing it more and more. It seems to be a common thing. So it is what it is. Okay. Now, Gizelle thinks that Mia's moving on a bit too fast when it comes to this man. To us, it does seem like Mia is moving a bit too fast when it comes to him. And that's primarily because he just got thrown out there in our face. Whereas to her, it's not as new because he's been around for years, even before G. So to her, she's like, well, girl, it ain't that quick for me. What are you talking about, girl? I mean, he's really never left, so we're good. Okay, now fast forward, we get to Mia and Gordon. So they're outside, they're with the kids and stuff. They're going for ice cream, and next thing you know, Mia sits down and she confirms with us that she is separated from Gordon and that at this time they're just co-parenting. Okay, she does let us know that Gordon actually moved into her building, and she feels awkward knowing that Ink be over there too. So she be trying to have a little piece of a sneaky link, and he be feeling like a little awkward or whatever. And I'm like, why is it feeling awkward now for him to be coming into the building where you live at when when you was in this whole marriage with this man, obviously he allowed you to step out and smash on ink, considering the fact that he was having issues with his stuff down there. I don't know if he had cancer or something he had going on, so he couldn't get it up like that. So he gave you permission to go out there and dibble and dabble with this man. So why would it be awkward now? Is it because they may pass each other in the hall? It didn't matter when he said that your kids came back and said, I saw mommy in bed with ink. So why all of a sudden now you want to say that it's a bit awkward? It don't seem like it was awkward before, but I'm on Mia's ass. And I don't care how nobody feel about that, okay? Karen and Mia, have a seat, okay? Have a seat. Y'all in the principal's office at this time, have a seat. Mia Thornton, come to the office, please. Karen Huger, come to the office, please. We need to chat. We need to chat, okay? So, anywho, so he thinks, no, she talks and says that she feels like she gave everything in the marriage. He said, girl, that is your perspective and you entitled to have it. So I'm going to let you have it, bitch. And she said, what? You don't think that I gave everything? He said, I mean, I think you gave a lot. But to say everything is a motherfucking stretch, and you know that. You know that. It's a stretch, girl. Don't sit up here and play with me, okay? You did everything you need to do down to the end, okay? She was like, well, what else was I supposed to do at the end? He said, you were supposed to just separate. This what we gotta do. Separate. Talking about me and you. Like, that's what it was supposed to give. Me and you separate. Not me and you separate and you go hop your ass over there on ink. That's not what I told you. Okay? So she, he ends up talking about how he was mean to her. Okay, so he does talk about how he was mean to her. And first of all, she don't feel like she ran to nobody else. She feel like she did what she was supposed to do. But anywho, he tells her that he admits he was mean to her, during the marriage, and he regrets it. I don't believe he was mean to her throughout the whole marriage. I feel like he was mean to her when the family flipped on him and his money got tied the hell up. And I think Gordon expected her to stay around and stay down with him, but instead what ended up happening was she was running over there to ink, because after she used Gordon up for what she needed to use him up for financially, then she ain't got to fake the funk no more. She can go ahead and get this divorce from your ass. Hello? So, yeah. So as he's talking about that, I feel like Mia thought he was going to go down the road of wanting to get back with her. So she immediately shifted the conversation and says, I just think that we should really focus on, the kids and stuff and making sure we're doing right for the kids and co-parenting. Right? So that's what she did. So then she brings up, I know that you talked about not getting, our son's haircut. You didn't want him to go with anyone else to get his haircut. And Gordon was like, you said it. Like, basically, no, he said, I didn't say anyone. And then she says ink. You didn't want him to go with ink. And he said, well, you said it. I don't blame that man. I don't blame him. But at the same time, if that's going to progress to be her new man and potentially her husband down the line, you might have to just deal. If you're unable to take him to get a haircut, just let him go in and take him to get a haircut. It is what it is, baby, need his haircut, right? But at the same time, I understand the saltiness of Gordon. I don't feel 100% sorry for him because he did open up the airway for this to happen. However, Gordon has stood in the position of dad, and that's all that Jeremiah knows, primarily as his actual father. So if he don't want that man to go and take his son to get a haircut, that is our thing that we do together as father and son. And I feel like, in my opinion, Mia should honor that. But it's just what I think, right? And then Mia said, well, that's a part of co-parenting. And I said, and that's a part of manipulation, right? That's a part of that, right? You're trying to get in his head. That's a part of co-parenting. No, BITCH. That man said he ain't no parent. I know that's right. And furthermore, he's not a parent with me. Okay, I'm not trying to co-parent with that motherfucker right now. I'm trying to co-parent with you, the person that's still actually my wife until the divorce is actually final. Like, bitch, we see each other. Okay? So, don't fight me on this, girl. You trying to, and what I don't like that Mia is doing, she's trying to step and overdo Gordon's position in people's lives, and you're giving, I'm sorry, not Gordon, but Ink, and you're giving Ink a bit too much credit in my personal, but we'll get there. So she tells him, well, one thing that he does want, if he can't go and take Jeremiah to get a haircut, he does want to go and take him to get that mouth swabbed. So he wants to get the DNA test, okay? Gordon is confused. He's like, so he believes that Ink is really his son for real? And he asked her if she thinks that, he is, or that if you think I'm not, you think he is or whatever. She says, well, there is a possibility. That's messed up, okay? It's a possibility that Ink could be the dad because, of course, at the reunion, they were doing IVF, Gordon and Mia. Then she said shortly after that she did engage in sex with Ink. So therefore, it's a strong possibility, and I do think for everybody involved, it is best if they go ahead and get this DNA test to identify who this child truly belongs to. If you ask me, I do feel like the young baby does look like Gordon to me, but hell, we don't know. So, my other thing is this. I feel like the way that she was defending Ink against Gordon for me was crazy. I didn't really like it, especially when when Gordon has stood in position to be the father and the financial caretaker or whatever for this young boy. I don't really like how she gives him too much for me. What else? So yeah, I feel like Gordon has he's just done a lot. So don't sit up there and disrespect him now that you want to be separated and you want to leave him and stuff, knowing who he has and how he has taken care of your kids, all for a man that actually barely been there. And the way it sounds is that he only dipped in and out when y'all was over there getting hunched on. So I really feel like their connection is more so sexual than it is anything else. But clearly he's going to be on this show, so we're going to see more about the dynamics of their relationship, okay? Now let's get to Ashley Darby. I feel like with Ashley Darby, we're seeing again that she's interested in getting this divorce from Michael, right? And I feel like this is another time for Ashley to play in our faces. Me and you, us never apart. My T, da, da. Like, that's what it's given. And furthermore, what leads me to believe that Ashley came to play in our face yet again for another season is the fact that y'all show her on dates with a black man and a man of color. When have y'all known Ashley Darby to be interested in a black man? I haven't. I've seen her probably talk about one, but I have never seen her be interested for real in actually dating a black man. I think there was like a trainer at one point that she probably thought was cute or whatever, but she wasn't taking that man serious. Okay? But she went on a date with the other dude from Summer House and fell in love with that man in less than, 3 months or something? So, y'all, stop playing with Ashley Darby. Or Ashley Darby, girl, stop playing with us. We know you're not interested in these black men, and I'm not faulting you. Be interested in who you want to be. I don't care who you're really interested in. It's just the fact that you actually got these folks showing you on dates, knowing that these are people that you're not really interested in for real. Therefore, Michael won't feel so threatened because Michael already knows that that's not even your type. See, Michael was bothered by the last dude that you was with because he knew it was your type, and eventually y'all stopped talking because of the dynamics of you and Michael. Okay? I think Michael made it difficult for you, okay? Because you had a hot, young tenderoni. But these other men you on a date with, girl, you playing in folks' face. Now, we did see you kiss a white man in the previews. Now, listen, that's more your speed, okay? And if you really trying to have Michael Darby go crazy, then that's what you do, okay? Put them lips on you some Caucasian. Get you some more Caucasian, girl. But anywho, let's keep going. All right, so she's over there talking to the attorney. The attorney is like ready to move forward when she is. She told her what they can do. We could get a retired judge that could be the mediator. We could get this stuff figured out and y'all can be done. And Ashley says, well, the most important thing to her is the custody. And I don't really know how he gonna operate, but what I do know is I want my mother and kids at my house in their bed where they supposed to belong, where they gonna be with their mama, where I know they're gonna be taken care of and all of that. Now, she says she has high hopes that it's going to work out that way, and I have high hopes as well that it's going to work out that way whenever this divorce finally happens. And the reason why I say that is because, Ashley, I've always told you from the beginning, my love, those are your children, not his, okay? So he's not going to mind at all making sure that you got them kids primarily all the time, okay? A long periodically time is what you're going to have them kids because he not. In addition, the only reason I would see Michael possibly not having, y'all having an issue is if he doesn't want to pay you any child support so he can have some type of joint custody and y'all have 1 week on, 1 week off type situation. But considering the fact that Michael Darby, and out of your words and your mouth, already pays a substantial amount to help you survive and live in the house that y'all bought together with the LLC, I will be a fool to believe that you are actually going to be getting a divorce from this man. When y'all finally finally make the decision to shift that home into Ashley's name and out of a LLC or a LLC solely owned by Ashley, then maybe then will I actually believe that a divorce is about to progress forward. Now, I understand that we let Robyn go because of how the situation happened with she and Juan. But why would y'all continue to sit up here and bring Ashley back season after season for her to tap dance and play pity pat in our faces about getting a divorce from this man? If her storyline is not progressing, I don't know if she should be progressing on the show. Okay? Now, Ashley gonna be a little messy this season, and I just might be here for it. Okay? Just a little piece. We gonna see. But Ashley, girl, if you're not going to be getting a divorce, then and you're gonna continue to be on the show, I would just stop bringing it up then. Just show us you dating and some other stuff, aside from talking about something that we know is never gonna happen. Okay. Let's keep going. So Wendy is resigning from her professor job, y'all. She is done with Johns Hopkins. I am not surprised. I think that once she got a whiff of this reality world and she got a whiff of this money, in my opinion, and just the spotlight, being a political commentator and stuff, I feel like Wendy is like, I can do the things that I love without having to work so hard as a professor and teaching and all of that. Like, I could do less amount of time and get my money for it. Like, why am I saying I don't want to do that? I don't have the love for it anymore. Okay. And ain't no telling what scrutiny she faces being a professor at the, I think it was Johns Hopkins. Don't, correct me if I'm wrong. But whatever school it was, I'm sure she may face a bit of scrutiny being on this show and then having to be a professor as well. So it may be a lot. Okay. She wants to spend more time with her children and stuff. So yeah, she's deciding to part ways with that job, okay? And I'm in support of it. If that's what Wendy wants to do, congratulations. She's nervous because she hasn't talked to her mom. And the thing with that bothers me is the fact that you are now married to your husband for multiple years. And I do feel like at some point you should have, and if not, you should let go of your mom's thoughts and the weight and pressure that she's going to give to you about what you're doing, in a sense, okay? Especially when you're not doing anything wrong. I could see if you were out here just doing bad, wrong, something to, hurt the family, then maybe that's different. But you're doing good. So I just wish that you would care a bit more less about what your mom has to say when the decisions that you have made on your own have always worked out for you for the most part, okay? So that's one thing. So that's really trusting yourself and her needing to trust you as well, especially if she's a person that wants some type of body surgery or whatever she wants and expects you and your husband to pay for it. Well, guess what? This reality show would be contributing to that financially. Me being a political commentator and other things are the things that will be contributing to that financially. Not so much as this damn professor. Yeah, that could, but I'm not doing that. So anything I were to do for you would be from the things I chose to do myself because that's what I wanted to do. So y'all need to work on that. But another thing you need to work on, Wendy, because y'all know she sent in a resignation letter and stuff. I need you to work on getting your life together. Okay? I need you to work on that. And I say that because 1 minute we see you write a book. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with any of these things, really. But it's just like, I don't know if you really have a passion for the things that you do. I think there are things that just pop up and you just want to do it for the moment, right? So you wrote a book. And then you came out and you're doing this candle line. Then you want to do home essential lines. And then it was, I think I want to open up a restaurant. And like, I think that it may be good that you let go of this job so you can spend more time with your kids and really sit down and figure out what is it that Wendy really, really wants to do. I know that you're working on your YouTube and the Dr. Wendy show. I know at one point that was really up and down and not even consistent. And now you're saying you're bringing it back. And honestly, with you bringing it back, I feel like you're bringing it back much later in the game than what you should have, in my personal opinion. And what you've teased to us this week, you've only given us 2 people, which is Just Hilarious and Corinne Jean-Pierre, I believe is her name. And that's great. But at the same time, I feel like the moment that these elections and things started to happen with you being a political commentator and you know so much about this, I feel like your platform could have definitely best been used to educate a lot of people in that realm. I do understand if you're busy and stuff like that, but especially when Kamala Harris took over as the candidate, I think that was really the time for you to get in there and actually use your platform to interview a lot of people. I know you want to sit down in person with people, but it's also okay to get the proper technology to interview people virtually to keep your podcast or whatever your show going forward. So this would have been like a really pivotal time, and I think that your channel would have really grown a lot if you were able to maximize on that, okay? Even if it was like one guest a week or something, okay? Or two guests or however you want to do it, but it could have just been better planning overall, okay? But yeah, let's work on that, Dr. Wendy, okay? Because I think you definitely have a lot to offer, a lot to give when it comes to that realm of politics and stuff, and just being a teacher in general. Like, I think we could learn a lot from you. So I hope that she gets that together and figure out what it is she really wants to do and go and prosper in that, okay? Now we meet Vivian. And it was cool to meet Vivian because we often for the past few seasons have seen Vivian play in the background, but not really know who she was or know a lot about her. And come to find out, she's like a boutique owner, like a store, a boutique dress owner, where she has all of these dresses, wedding dresses, dresses for events, whatever the case is, she owns it. And I think that's pretty cool. So we're going to see more of her, and we're likely going to get her personality. Now, I remember, and I believe it was around the time Mia was projected to come onto the show, they were saying that she was supposed to be on the show. But that did not necessarily happen that way. But or maybe it was when Kiana was coming on. I don't know. But when they were like rumoring around like who the new housewives and stuff were going to be, I remember her name being a part of that, or at least remembering her face. And they were trying to say she was going to be one of the people. And maybe she interviewed or something. But she hasn't been a full-time housewife. She's actually been like an extra in a sense. So now we get to see her, I guess, in like a friend role. So we'll see how that's going to play out, okay? Now, Karen goes there to catch up with her, and in walks Stacy, who's also a new housewife that we're learning about, okay? Stacy was married for about 16 years. She used to work at QVC, and she recently left that. And it also appears that she's leaving her marriage as well, okay? So as the ladies are talking and happy to see Karen, and they talk about the invitation and things, and they're happy to go to her, birthday function, Karen said she was concerned because Gizelle don't always do right by her. So she don't know what the hell this is going to give this time, okay? But Karen does say that she noticed that Stacy wasn't wearing her ring. And did y'all catch, Vivian actually knew that already, because Vivian was like, oh, she's fine. But then when Stacy came out, Vivian said something to her about not wearing the ring, and then want to act surprised, like, oh, what? You've been separated for a year? And all that. I'm like, Vivian, girl, stop playing. You've been knew this tea. Actually, you've known Stacy longer than Karen. So I'm sure if she wanted to confide in anybody, she would confide it in you first. So you already knew this information, but you put your best acting on, girl, okay? So anywho, so Karen asked about that. She said they've been separated, married for 16 years. He was a German businessman that she met on a flight. They end up having a beautiful little girl together. And that's part of the reason why she came back to, the Potomac area. So she's good. She's stationary. And I'm thinking that her and her husband probably separated for different lifestyles. If he's a German businessman, I feel like he probably spent most of his time like overseas and stuff. Right? Whereas you were living in Philadelphia or something, and then now you had to come back home, and so that's just, that's what I think probably was going on. But hopefully we learn more about her divorce and what was happening, and they not just introducing to us that she's getting a divorce without letting us know more, okay? So anywho, they get champagne because Miss Stacy was ready for champagne. Then she says, oh my God, girl, we didn't even think. Like, Karen, girl, does this bother you that we're having a drink in front of your face? Karen's like, girl, what? Oh, hell no, girl. No. Girl, I'm not even drinking because of the medication. That's what's going on. Yeah, I'm not drinking because of the medication, but girl, I'll be enjoying libations with y'all soon. Like, girl, you ain't got to worry about me. Now, I do believe that Karen was a bit shocked. Like, what the hell y'all talking about? Because I don't think she really thought about it. I don't think it was that big of a deal to her. I think she was cool with having the water or whatnot. But then at the same time, I don't feel like it was, she was on some medication. Okay, I don't feel like she was on medication. I feel like she was lying about that part. But anyway, girl, let's keep going. Let's get to the attitude party. So Ashley got Karen a gift, and it's all about her avoiding drinking and actually treating her like a much older lady than what she is, trying to give her a damn bird house to paint so she could do something else. Since she's going to be sitting at home thinking about it for a while. I said, Ashley, this so basic, girl, but it's a little funny. So Gizelle lets Ashley know that she did invite Wendy and says that since her dad has passed, she has had a change of heart. And, she wants to work on her relationship with Wendy. And my thing is, I don't believe you. Okay, I feel like when it comes to your dad, when the reunion was here, your dad had already passed away, and you still were very harsh and inconsiderate towards Wendy. So, in my opinion, I don't think it has anything to do with your dad at all. I think that the producers had a conversation with you the same way you said they were supposed to have one with Candiace at the time. I think they had a conversation with you. And being that Robyn is no longer on the show and y'all got these new ladies coming onto the show, I think that you wanted the show to feel possibly fresh. So let's go ahead and mend fences or whatever with Wendy, and let's, move forward. In addition, it also made me think of Kenya and Nene. There's been times where Kenya has had an interview and they'll ask her about Nene, and she'll say, I think Nene is great for the show. Like, whatever is the betterment for the show. She'll throw shade at Nene, but primarily she'll be like, I'll play with anybody. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the show, because I want the show to be successful or whatever. And so I think that could have been the same role with Gizelle at this point, considering the fact that it's new blood, okay, that's going to be entering the show, and being that your day one is no longer there, you could be gone at any moment too. And also the fact that, hell, your daughter gone off to college, your other two is on their way to college, you an empty nester, you not showing us no man, which makes us believe you ain't got no man, so you ain't got nothing else going on. You enjoy the money that you get from this show, so you might as well come and play ball. Okay, and I'm not even mad at it. All right, now I might be mad at Wendy later this season if she could potentially be up Giselle's butt to get her to like her more, but we'll have to see it play out. But I'm here for them wanting to work on the relationship, and just move forward, because after a while I do feel like it might get a bit tiring seeing that y'all can't stand each other and stuff. And it's like, girl, when is we finna try to come on, all right? Especially when you got one person that wants the or I'm not going to say wants the relationship, but wants to move past things for the betterment of the show, which had been Wendy for a long time. So if Gizelle want to slide through and get it together, okay, girl. Now we meet Jazzy, who happens to be married to an NFL player who's a part of the Kansas Chiefs, who has won the Super Bowl twice, from my understanding, okay? Wendy eventually arrives, and she lets us know that although she was invited by Gizelle to the party, she's appreciative, but she does not feel like this was a real olive branch, and her and Gizelle are going to need to have a separate sit-down conversation. I agree with that 1,000%. I surely do. I do not think that y'all should be able to just move along, okay? I think that a conversation should be had so that y'all can move along. So I'm in support of that. Like, girl, whatever. Now they speak on Karen. And Jacqueline brings up the fact that Karen calls her. And she said that Karen seemed to be a bit tipsy and she wasn't the normal Karen like she typically is. And Wendy said, oh, baby, I don't want no parts of this. Y'all can do what y'all want to do with that, but girl, don't come over here with it, because I don't want no parts, okay? Karen eventually arrives, and so does Stacy and Vivian. Now, when Gizelle ran off the drinks, I can't remember the drinks. I believe one was called 61. One was called non-alcoholic Grand Dame. And I forgot what the first one was called. And Karen didn't seem like she really liked the selection of drinks, especially the non-alcoholic Grand Dame. So she felt the way. She really just got the iced tea. And she goes in the confessional and says that Gizelle ain't been there a good 5 minutes before she starts, throwing shade or whatever. You could tell it kind of made her feel away. But I'm like, Karen, listen, I don't think nothing was wrong with the term non-alcoholic Grand Dame, because you're not drinking right now. Okay, you're not. And for you, I feel like if any of these ladies would have gotten into an accident and they were drunk driving, they wouldn't hear the last of it from you, because you'll be so busy trying to tell them about their etiquette and how they should operate and this, that, and the other. So now that the shoe is on the other foot and it's your turn to hear it a little bit, slight shade here or there, you're going to have to be okay with it. Because if it was somebody else, you would be about doing the same thing, or bringing it up to them and trying to let them know the severity of their actions. So I feel no ways about it, okay? And I don't think that you should have either. So Karen wants the ladies to ask any questions, okay? Gizelle said the ladies got some questions. I told her when you come, they can talk to you because I'm good. You the best. This is your situation. So she asked if anybody have questions. Nobody said anything, but everybody got something to say when she ain't there. So Jacqueline says, well, I'm just happy that you're okay and nobody was hurt, no kids, no anything like that. And, considering the fact that none of us was there, I don't think anyone should judge. BITCH, you was the one that was just judging the lady by a phone call talking about something. She was tipsy. And now you want to sit up here and say that nobody should be over here judging. Girl, when they put the camera on Wendy was like, you sure? You sure about that? I was with Wendy. But then Mia says, but people are going to judge. Like, they're going to talk about this situation once this news come out. It only makes sense. Like, everybody's talked about. So then here goes Stacy. Who are we to judge? Humans? That's who we are. Okay? We're humans. That's what we are. Period. Okay? Now, I haven't had no DUI charge by the grace of God, and prayerfully I never do because I don't really drink like that, okay? I may have me a little piece of wine over here, but I'm not really one of them, okay? But I'm human, and I'm going to judge it accordingly because if it was anybody else, Karen would have something to say. Just like, different stuff that's happened on the show in the past, Karen has she's had stuff to say about it, okay? So it is what it is. Just because she considers herself the grand dame does not mean that people cannot talk about it. Okay? It is what it is. She just gonna have to, deal. So Karen says, listen, girl, I don't give a damn about being judged. That's not my thing here. What I care about is who really finna be my real friend. That's what I care about, okay? I want to know who's really riding for Miss Karen Huger, who my real soldiers, and where they at, soldiers in here. Where they at? Like, she's looking for her soldiers. Okay? She said she ain't trying to be around no fake BITs. And I said, well, Jacqueline, she talking to you. She's talking to you, Miss Jacqueline. Okay? So there's that. And I feel like, what do you mean, though, by real friends? Are real friends not supposed to bring up the fact that you were driving under the influence or while intoxicated? Are they not supposed to do that? Are they not supposed to talk to you about that? So you want real friends that's just going to be quiet? No, ma'am. And just because they bring it up, you think that they're not real friends? I guess, ain't he? Now, what Jacqueline did, I think that was a bit messy, though, girl. But anywho, Karen was like, be mindful of how low you go or something like that. Be mindful of how you go so low or something. I said, girl, bye Karen. Anywho, Gizelle passes out hats and she decides to give one to Mia. And basically, I'm going to say it was a pimp hat because Mia over here, Mia is balancing two different men. So Gizelle asked if she shared him with Jacqueline yet. And everybody was like, Well, Jacqueline, didn't they make it seem like, you made it seem like you shared Gordon? So has she shared ink with you? I think that was a valid question. Mia says, oh no, Ink, he doesn't play about me. Ink doesn't play about me. If he doesn't, then he probably would have married you before Gordon did. But okay. So she says that she loves Gordon, but he needs to lean on her and Ink right now. He needs to lean on both of us right now. And this is where I feel like she gives Ink more credit than she needs to. We don't really need to know about him leaning on Ink. And I feel like you're trying to do that to shape a image of Ink for us because we already know Gordon. And instead of letting us get to know Ink for ourselves, you're trying to shape an image of him so that we could possibly like him because, he's allowing Gordon to lean on him and this, that. And I don't give a fuck about Ink. High key. Okay? He's having to lean on me and Ink right now. And she says that Gordon, he was at the house the other day and he left his dirty drawers over there. How did Gordon leave dirty clothes at your house? Are you still messing with Gordon potentially? Because if he's in your same building, how did he leave dirty clothes at your house? Why would he need to go to your house to watch the kids when the kids could go to his house? So I'm a little confused. But let Mia tell it that Gordon had dirty clothes at the house. She washed the clothes and Ink folded up the clothes. And then they both went and dropped them off at his house. You see that? He's needing to lean on Mia and Ink. It sounded like she's trying to say he's leaning on both of them financially. Then she says, Ink helped fold his clothes and do this. You see, like, are y'all seeing this? Ink wants to take the son to get a haircut. All of that. Like, I just, you overdoing it with Ink. Just a little piece for me. So Jacqueline says that Ink is good for Mia. And when it comes to Mia and Gordon, it was just a business relationship. I said, whoa. So was it a business relationship or partnership when they sat up there and got your ass that car? or helped you out financially when you may have needed it. So I guess that was a business partnership at that time, huh? And so they said, well, girl, how long you been married to him? 11 years. And Gizelle was like, oh, girl, 11 years for a business partnership? Like, that sounds like more than that. And then Karen says, no, ma'am. Girl, you gave birth. You had this man kids, and you want to sit up here and talk about a business partnership? I said, I know that's right. I know that's right, honey. Then she brings up her kids catching her. Karen brings up the kids. She says, when Gordon brings up the kids catching you in bed with ink, like, that really bothered me because I was really concerned about the kids. And Mia says, so you don't think it bothered me, Karen? You don't think it bothered me too? I didn't do that. Their dad did that. And had he not did that, it would have been nothing to really talk about. Like, come on. All right. And she says that it wasn't my fault. Okay. That was on G. He did that. It's not my fault. And Karen was like, now listen, girl, I'm not saying that it's your fault. That's not what I said, girl. Well, I'm just asking a question, okay? And I'm like, well, I ain't really hear the question yet, Karen, okay? I didn't really hear the question, but okay, baby, you was trying to get to it, but she didn't let you get it out. So Gizelle says that, well, here's the thing, girl. At the end of the day, baby, you didn't protect your kids, okay? It's giving, you was mixing and you was mingling just a bit. All right. And Mia says, I filed for a separation. How did I mix and mingle? I'm sorry, y'all. I have to agree with Gizelle because for me, actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry, bitch. I agree with Gizelle, period. Okay. It is a mix and mingle. If this man came and said that your kids told him they caught you in the bed with ink and not once did you shut it down and say that that was not true or that did not happen, therefore leaving me to believe that it did happen, and you have also mentioned pretty much how he has been in and out of your life throughout the entire time that you've been married or whatever like that, like it is giving a bit to me of not protecting your kids, in my opinion. And that's really, for me, when I dated, with my oldest son, like when I had him, like people didn't meet my kid. They didn't meet my kid. My fiance now, it probably took him 6 months or so just to meet my child. Like I don't play that. So for you to be a married woman, even though he opened up the relationship for you to go out there and hunch on who you hunch on. But I don't believe he opened up the relationship for you to let your kids be around so and so and so and so. In my opinion, especially for this man to now be putting narratives out there and saying things to you that I'm sure your son may have heard that he feels like he may be his dad. His real dad. So it's like, we already know Mia is a liar because she be lying. So for you to be like, I filed for a separation, girl, that was after the fact. But Gordon was very clear with you when he said that you've been messing with that man and you've been cheating for like 10 years or whatever. So miss us with this, okay? And I don't want to hear nobody over there trying to have a piece of sympathy and all of that for Mia when Mia has been a proven liar about different stories at different times. Okay? And she's lying here. All right? I don't think any of us have a doubt that you're a great mom. I'm sure you're an amazing mom. Right? But in that sense, maybe we shouldn't use the word protect. All right? Maybe we shouldn't say you didn't protect your kids. But at the end of the day, when it came to the relationship you had outside of your marriage, you should have moved a bit more careful. And that's just how I feel about that. All right. So then she goes on to talk about being in an abusive relationship. I said, whoa, this is my first time ever hearing Mia talking about Gordon being abusive towards her. And of course, it could be verbally abusive, physically abusive, but I have not heard that come out her mouth. Now, it doesn't mean that it did not happen, but even with seeing Gordon being upset, he wasn't even coming off abusive. He was clocking you and calling you out for your shit. So that's what I'm inclined to believe, even though he said that he was being mean to you, right? But I still feel like he was probably calling you out on your shit and you couldn't take it. Therefore, you felt like he was mean. But I guess, child, I wasn't there. This is what you're telling us. So Wendy feels like they did too much. She says that we're all mothers, so you have to understand where that could be a whole lot. You guys are doing too much. And I'm like, yeah, Wendy, I hear you. Maybe it wasn't the right timing, but did they lie in a sense? Like, you doing too much and then you all over social media. Okay, give me 1 second, y'all. Then you're all over social media with this man, hanging out with him, loving on him or whatever the case is. But this whole time, Your kids probably see this stuff, and they're of an age, especially your oldest, to go to school and hear about the SHI that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? On social media and stuff. So I just feel like how she moved with this could have been a bit more graceful, in my opinion. But at the same time, I do not feel sorry for G, because you opened up this can of worms as well. But for her to make it appear as though it's all G's fault, I disagree. I feel like it is a shared fault. But what the girl said to you, they didn't really lie to you. Okay, that's just how I feel about that. So, anywho, Mia says that she protected her kids, and she sit there and act like they aren't. She says, and for y'all to sit up there and act like they aren't protected is completely messed up. And she's mad and all of this. So she really hurt by what the lady said, and she's like, my kids are doing great. They're in traveling football and doing this and doing that and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, but what does that have to do with anything? Kids can be doing great all day long, right? But it doesn't mean that you are operating in their best interest as parents sometimes, okay? That's just how I feel about that. But you guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below about everything we talked about. Let me know how you're feeling about the new episode, Real Housewives of Potomac, if it's giving. Actually, what is it giving? And that's it. That's all that I got at this time. Let me know your thoughts about everything, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.